going to take you through a short session lying down today, and you can be lying down on a carpet in your home, on a blanket on the floor. If you have a mat, that's good to lie down on as well. Just make sure that you're able to be comfortable and uninterrupted for maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, okay? So we'll start on our backs with our knees bent and feet on the ground. And make sure you have lots of room behind you so that you can stretch your arms above your head. And we'll start by coming into awareness of the body on the ground. Let your arms be away from your body with your palms facing up. If you like to let your knees lean into each other, it's a good way to bring relaxation into that low back, and it enables the low back to become more in contact with the ground. Less strain on the back. Coming into your breath. Noticing your breath as it flows at the nostrils, in and out. Noticing how your body is feeling now. Maybe letting everything become soft and relaxed. And we'll take a moment or two to come into breathing at the heart center in the middle of your chest. You may even wish to place your hand there. And as you inhale, you'll feel expansion around that area of your middle chest. Let your body be relaxed and feel this expansion also in the back of your heart center. Taking 2 more breaths in this way. And once you've completed, let yourself come back to your arms resting beside you, but let your knees come apart now, and we'll do a little bit of work around the pelvis with some pelvic tilts. If you imagine that you have a clock on your belly, and that 6 o'clock is down at the pubic bone, 12 o'clock is up towards the sternum, and then 3 o'clock is on the left, and 9 o'clock on the right. And we'll start by moving the pelvis down and up. So as you come down to 6 o'clock on the inhale, you'll feel that you have more space underneath your low back. You could even put your hands there. And as you exhale and draw that pubic bone towards the navel and flatten the low back coming up towards 12 o'clock, you'll feel that your low back is now flat on the ground. So go back and forth like that for 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the soles of your feet on the mat. Feel that your knees are pointing forward, and so you're engaging at your inner thighs as well. Let this be your last breath cycle in this position. Notice as you are moving the pelvis that the rest of your body is also moving slightly, especially around your upper body and your head. Come back to neutral, and now we'll let the right hip just sink into the ground, and you'll feel that this left hip may come up a little bit, and then exhale back to center, and then let your left hip come down to the ground. So you're rocking back and forth, right and left. And we'll do that 2 more times in your own time. Let this be your last one here. Coming back to center. And now we'll put this together by making circles. So if you start by coming down towards 6 o'clock and then rocking over towards the right, and then bringing yourself around, so you're coming up to 12, around to the other side, and making big circles now with your pelvis, rocking on the outer edges of those pelvic bones, going in a clockwise direction to begin with. And now you could go the other way and let yourself come into circles in the opposite directions. Maybe 2 more in this direction. And then let yourself come back to center. It's always nice to close your eyes when you're doing movements like this. It enables you to become a little bit more inward and be aware of what's happening with the rest of your body. So we're going to do a bit of work with the arms. So let your arms come up towards the ceiling, and then as you do that, let those arm bones rest down into the shoulder sockets so that you have lots of width across your collarbones, and the backs of your shoulders are resting on the ground. And we're going to reach up just with the right side, as if you're reaching up to a rope and pulling it down. For 2 more breaths, reaching up and pulling it down, taking that shoulder off the ground as you reach up and pull down. And then the other side, reaching up and pulling down. 2 more on this side. And then we'll alternate. Reach up with one arm and then the other. So you're going back and forth from one side, and that shoulder that you're reaching is coming up, and you're also working the joints of your hands and your fingers by making a fist as you reach up and spread the fingers and come into a fist. So we'll do 1 more each side here. And then let yourself relax down. Let your legs come out straight along the mat. And we're going to come into a bit of a side stretch by coming into the shape of a banana. So if you bring your legs over to the right, and if you feel you have the room, you could even take that left ankle over the right ankle. And now take your arms above your head and move your head and shoulders over to the right as well. So you're in a little bit of a moon shape, and the arms are just reaching to a comfortable place above your head. And we're going to inhale and come into a long stretch, taking the arms away from the feet. Exhale and let everything release. And then 1 more time, inhaling, coming into a long stretch. Exhaling to release. So throughout this, you're going to stay on your back. Bring your arms down beside you. Take your feet and your head and shoulders back to center. And we'll come over to the other side. So first moving your feet and your legs over, maybe crossing at the ankles. Moving your head and shoulders over to the left. So you're in that nice rounded position, bringing your arms just above the head to where they come with comfort. And then as you inhale, coming into that long stretch along the right side of your body, maybe curling your toes up to the ceiling. Exhale and let that stretch release. And then 1 more time, inhaling, coming into a long stretch. Exhaling and let that release. Unwind your body and bring yourself back to center so that your body is nice and straight and aligned on the floor again. This time bend your knees and let the feet come out wide so that they're more than hips width apart, and the knees are facing up to the ceiling. And we're going to let those knees just drop over to the right on the inhale. Make sure you engage at your belly as you exhale and draw them back to center, and then inhale and let them come over to the left. Exhale. exhale, draw back to center. We'll do that 2 more times each side. As your knees go over to the right, maybe let your head roll over to the left. Always engaging at the belly as you bring your knees up. Notice how that feels one side to the next. And you may notice as you drop those knees side to side that each time you come down with the knees, that maybe they are releasing and coming down a little bit closer to the ground. We'll do 1 more each side here. Come back to center. And now we're going to come on to our bellies and do a gentle somatic movement that releases the neck. So if you lie on your belly with your legs hip distance apart, the arms are close to the body, elbows tucked into the ribs, and the hands underneath the shoulders, and just a little bit more than shoulders width apart. And start off with your forehead on the ground. Let your lower body be nice and heavy, your pelvis and your legs. And now turn your head over to the right. And keeping your head turned to the right, press into your hands and your forearms and lift your head. Rotate it over to the other side, just keeping it on that same height, and then rest on your left cheek. Take a breath here. Press into your hands and your forearms. Lift your head, keeping it over to the side, to the right. Bring the head around. Bring it over to the left. Rest on your cheek. Taking a breath to release and relax. Pressing into your hands and your arms, lifting an inch or 2, taking your head to the other side, relaxing down for breath. You may want to close your eyes as you're doing this. So in your own time, doing 2 more each side. When you've completed, bring your head back to center with your hands underneath your shoulders, pressing your hands into the mat. Bring yourself up and back into child's pose. Any comfortable child's pose for you. Bring your hands underneath, maybe stacked one on top of the other, and place them underneath your forehead. Take a couple of breaths here. Feeling that breath in the whole of your back body as well as your front body. And then pressing your hands underneath your shoulders to bring yourself up to hands and knees and come around to a comfortable seat. If you have the time, you could now lie down and spend 10 minutes or so in Shavasana. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this session. Namaste.